But I did get to take on one of my most eagerly anticipated
Ooh!
the venomous snake attack.
What's going on YouTube? Nah, seriously, today we got some Horizon Forbidden West first hands on preview, you know what I'm saying? Let's hop into it. I'm probably gonna cop this game for sure because I played the first one recently. I liked it. Aloy, she a baddie, you know what I'm saying? She look baddie right now, or she is a
Horizon
baddie.
Zero Dawn introduced an amazing foundation to Guerrilla Games' post-apocalyptic world, following it up is no small feat. But after 4 hours of
AirPods
time with early portions of its sequel, Horizon Forbidden West is shaping up to be a fulfillment of all the promises made by its predecessor. Combat is more complex, exploration is more freeing, and the world is teeming with more intriguing life, both robotic and human, and meaningful things to do. The Forbidden West in all its glory still waits to be seen, but I'm not forbidden from telling you about so much of why it's an adventure on which I can't wait.
Yeah, I see what he did. I'm not Forbidden West is a lot of explorer, but I'm not forbidden from telling you certain things. See what he did right there?
My time with Forbidden West didn't start exactly where Aloy's journey begins in the sequel, but rather a little into her quest to find new answers and maybe save humanity along the way.
It's been 6 months since the events of Horizon Zero Dawn. And Aloy has noticed
it's been a couple years.
This red blight is kind of encroaching everywhere.
Red blight.
And this is a world-ending threat, and she has to find a way to stop it.
The first big question I had when jumping in was how much freer exploration actually would be. Zero Dawn did many things right, but its climbing navigation was one of its most frustrating limitations.
Facts.
Forbidden West doesn't make every single inch of its world climbable, which may be disappointing to some, but it was immediately apparent and appreciable just how much more of the world is scalable, and how fun it is to do so. And it's made better by an improved focus. A quick click of R3 causes a pulse scan around Aloy, revealing resources to pick up, as well as, more importantly, highlighting climbable parts of the world. Another nice addition is the Pullcaster, a fancy sort of grappling hook that lets the player pull Aloy to harder to reach or further points. It's even something that can be used in conjunction with the Shield Wing, a glider Aloy obtained near the end of my demo. Launching off a point, letting Aloy soar through the skies, and pull-casting to an interesting spot on a nearby cliff face creates a real degree of freedom missing in Zero Dawn's movement. Forbidden West seems purpose-built to ensure that everything you do has more worthwhile and varied rewards. Deeper Settlements is a core part of Forbidden West, and if my time in Chainscrape, the first one I came across, is any indication, there will be a lot for players to find, discover, and lose hours to play.
We really wanted to improve. We really wanted to kind of listen to the fans and listen to our reviewers, and also based on our own internal feedback. And so there was a whole set of things we wanted to do with Settlements, including general sense of them being more lifelike, better animations, better schedules for the NPCs, and also audio. We really wanted to improve the sort of crowd audio in the sense that when you go into any given place in a settlement,
feels live,
kind of like audio personality.
I assume late February.
We also have the situation where Aloy's going in to the Forbidden West and encountering new tribes. Specifically the Utaru and the Tanakh. And we really wanted to make sure those were as differentiated as possible with, NPCs doing things that they would only do in that tribe to give it that sense of life.
The center point of the town, a busy brewery, had so many cute little bespoke animations of characters sharing a pint, laughing at stories being told, and more. But Settlements aren't going to be just full of NPCs you can't interact with. There seem to be more side quests and worthwhile ones at that. There is also a wider swath of side objectives I encountered in and out of town, like melee fight pits, environmental puzzles, and even more.
We can participate in a melee fight
board game called Machine Strike that I'm already setting aside a dozen or so hours to lose playing it. And all of these objectives don't feel like one of any open world's biggest potential problems: filler. Instead, narrative director Ben McCaw explained how everything is built with more and better rewards in mind, whether they be new equipment, outfits, weapons, or key pieces of lore.
It's great to have a huge open world, but if all of the activities in it feel kind of tacked
boring
on
and stale,
not related or not essential, that's not a great feeling.
Right.
We wanted to make sure that there's a certain path through this game where if players want to experience the main quest and kind of get to the end of the story as quickly as possible, that they could do that. And also, there's definitely a progression through this game that's really focused on combat. But if there is going to be an activity in the world, a board game, a melee pit, even a camp or outpost associated with Regala's rebels, or there are other
Hey,
examples.
the
things
tribe's
that
outpost
return from the
looks
previous
sick.
game.
I'll
They
have
all
to say
need
that the
feel
outpost
part of
looks
the world.
sick.
They all need to be part of the story.
These tribes look sick. Okay. Forbidden foes.
I enjoyed much of Zero Dawn's ensemble, but I kind of fell in love with almost every character, new and old, big and small, in Forbidden West. Aloy has been endearing from minute one, but Ashley Birch plays her with such a charming determination that is as enjoyable to watch in action as she defies bureaucrats
Ashley Birch?
unwilling to take action to get things done, as it is painful to see keep her at arm's length from close friends
I
like
forgot his
Aaron
name,
and Petra, who care so deeply for
okay.
her.
I'm asking nicely.
Aaron.
I'd like to see you try.
So what we wanted to do with Aloy in the Forbidden West is just put her under as much pressure as possible. And so obviously she has the pressure of trying to resolve the Blight, which is a world-ending threat.
And we got
she
the
has all
other
the other pressures
silly-ass
of
tribes.
fighting machines and just trying to survive in this world. But she also has this other pressure of trying to live up to the example of her genetic mother, Elizabeth Sobek. This is probably one of the greatest people in history and someone who literally almost single-handedly saved the world. That's a very, very high bar for Aloy to live up to, and it affects her interactions with other people. It's also important to remember that this is someone who grew up an outcast and only just started to interact with the world as a whole in the previous game.
And while this opening section
Right.
teased some of the new tribes Aloy will interact with
Yeah.
in the West, it also heralded the arrival of her new
Tribes
enemy,
look sick.
Regala. And what an introduction
I would assume we get
it
some new
is.
animals too. Or machines.
Played with such power by Angela Bassett, Regala is immediately positioned as a force to be reckoned with, and it only appears to scratch the surface of her power.
Girl, we gonna
Aloy's
roll your
companions
ass up.
offer different interactions
rolling your ass up with
that
the quickness.
display different aspects of Aloy's personality.
That nigga, he's
So
suspect.
This is something that carries through the whole game. It's actually one of the major themes of the game is how does she relate to other people? How does she relate to her companions? How does that change her as a person? And Aloy's companions are really central to the story and the themes of the Forbidden West. It's really the way that she relates to each of them differently and the impact that they have on her that really forces her to kind of
I
evolve
better see
her
some motherfuckers
personality
with
throughout the game.
dreads.
Aaron,
Damn!
Luckily, Aloy has a few new friends and new tools and skills at her disposal to rise to the occasion. There are now 6 lengthy skill trees players can invest in based on their style. It should all pair nicely with the expanded arsenal of equipment and outfits you'll acquire. And in another nice twist on established systems, outfits are more closely tied to these skill trees, and some will offer stat boosts that can make skills even
Nice.
stronger.
I can't wait to
Notably,
get some of these
melee
drip
combat
sets.
is also improved.
Freaking hate ads. But nah,
My people are coming.
the costumes on that game was always good.
You have to do
And they said
something
they made the
about this.
fighting combat a bit better. I do like that because it just seems so RT. What was it? R2.
There's a far
R1,
greater
R2.
fluidity in the animations and how they chain together, and it
Nice.
also seems like a more viable option in general, thanks to new skills like the impressive
Oh
Resonant
my
Blast.
goodness!
There will also be new weapons like the Javelin Thrower, while returning items like Tripcasters and standard elemental arrow options make a welcome
Fire!
comeback. But there's now a wider amount of those elements
jump
as
off the
well,
nigga.
including acid arrows that can be deployed with a precise strike to use acid-bearing machines' own toxicity against them. Machines, of course, are a major part of the attraction of Horizon's world, and at least so far, Forbidden West is still capturing that mix of wonder, awe, and trepidation that comes with meeting these creatures. There's a nice blend of new and returning machine types, like the
Nice.
acidic bristlebacks, returning scrappers and chargers, and even something new like the burrower. Guerrilla is clearly saving some of Forbidden West's biggest battles for players, including myself,
Okay.
to play through when the full game is released, but I did get to take on one of my most eagerly anticipated
Ooh!
the venomous Slitherfang. To do so, I jumped a bit further into Forbidden West to try out its new arena, an optional area where players will take on various challenges, needing to finish them under a certain time limit to earn medals that unlock some of the sequel's best equipment. The Slitherfang, with its whole new
That
suite of devastating attacks,
freaking
is a
sick.
prime example of the ingenuity Guerrilla displays with Horizon's combat. Coupled with all the new weapons and skills, which I admittedly was still just getting the hang of, defeating the Slitherfang in time was immensely gratifying in the way taking down
heck is
Zero
that?
Dawn's biggest foes was. But with new tricks for both Aloy and foes, these fights are a fresh joy to discover as I worked out the best way to succeed. Or at least survive. I played this particular battle in Forbidden West's frame rate mode, though I switched between the favoring resolution and performance options throughout, and found both worthy of my time. Playing on PS5, Forbidden West World is a sight to behold, from stunning vistas with lengthy views to the enhanced level and amount of detail in a settlement like Chainscrape, to smoother animations both in and out of combat.
I'm ready. You feel me? I got mine. So
Forbidden West is frequently dazzling.
Oh,
Appreciably,
sorry.
whereas Zero Dawn's
if
conversations
you couldn't
usually
get through it
involve
yet.
tight shots on two characters talking, almost every
They just need to
conversation
bring out
I
more,
had in
bro.
Forbidden West saw the camera pulled back more and let characters be more uniquely animated.
crazy how they
in
still
their
ain't selling
movements and
Xboxes
facial
or
expressions.
PlayStations for real.
About time there was something worth looking at in this dump.
It's nice to see you too.
Thankfully, we're only
So I'm
under a
looking
month
at-
away from getting to see all
Okay.
of this play out in full. And
A
my
month
time with
away.
Horizon Forbidden West has me more assured than ever that Guerrilla has really refined and evolved the Horizon experience with Forbidden West.
There is an enormous amount of story and territory and combat to be had. But the slice that we did give you is really near the beginning of Aloy's journey, near the beginning of her sojourn into the Forbidden West, and also just the very beginning of her evolution as a character.
It's an easy comparison to make, but often an apt one. The leap here feels like it could be that jump from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2, which is saying something considering how solid Zero Dawn already was. But nearly every misgiving I had about the original seems to have been thought through, and then some. Aloy's new journey seems more robust and rewarding than I expected, while retaining the wonder and awe that its predecessor
What are these
delivered.
weapons?
I still don't know quite what the Forbidden West itself will hold, but after my hands on, I've never been more excited to find out. For more, be sure to check out our Podcast Beyond conversation about even more details from our hands-on time with Forbidden West, and if you're interested in hearing
I'll
about
wait.
more PlayStation exclusives, be
Until
sure
the
to
game
check out
release.
our Art of the Level on an Uncharted 4's greatest chase sequence. And for everything else in the world of PlayStation, you're already in the right place.
That shit just scared me.
IGN.
But that was like some background. Looks pretty nice though. It does look nice. I will say that. It does look nice. Probably will get it though for sure. Along with Dying Light 2.